In the first half, just 4 goals since the All-Star break.
Carlson shot off a skate and in. And like that, number 100.
Listen up, hockey fans. You're in the right place. A no-hold-barred debate between two hockey fans. Stay up to date on current issues in the NHL, even the controversial ones. Welcome to The Debate Hockey Podcast with your host, Brad Burud.
Welcome to the Debate Hockey Podcast. It's October 22nd, 2017. I'm Brad Burud, joined alongside co-host Blake Friars. Tonight, we talk about Vegas, the surprise in Vegas. Also, Montreal problems. Is a disaster in Montreal? And replay inconsistencies. It is time for the Debate Hockey Podcast, episode number 50. It is January 28th, 2019. I am Brad Burud, joined alongside my co-host each and every week, Blake Friars. And welcome. It's a very special episode. It's our 50th episode, which I'm happy and proud to announce. Sure. It's pretty good having 50 shows in just over over a year. We've had a lot of fun doing this. League is on All-Star break right now, and we decided to do things a little bit different on this show. And we're going to break down 10 critical questions that the NHL faces and how these 10 critical questions will change over the course of 10 years. And what will the NHL look like 10 years from now?
100. His 100.
Goal number 100.
It is time for episode number 100. May 4th, 2020. I'm Brad Burud, joined alongside my co-host Blake Friars. Although it is remote, we still like doing the show, right, Blake?
I just have one question for you. The very first episode, now I just listened back to it, why did you talk like you're a damn auctioneer, man? Holy shit.
I know.
We're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about this,
fast
and replays.
Forward. Blake, that's why when you look at it, I mean, it was a whole different ball game back then.
Yeah, I remember, man, our first episode, I think it was like 23 minutes or something.
It started on
2 hours.
October 22nd, 2017. It seems like a long time ago. But you know, when you really think about it, though, 100 episodes kind of flew by, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I mean, when you do one a week, it goes pretty quick, right?
Yeah. Blake and I met through a mutual friend, Nick Hallberg, and Blake was doing play-by-play for a junior hockey team in the North American Hockey League, and Nick asked me to join him and to do a little color, and that's when we met. And we talked hockey, and we instantly started to argue.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty well put. I mean, doing play-by-play by yourself isn't the greatest. I mean, it's nice to have somebody to banter with, and that's kind of where we got our start. And then you approached me after about the third game we did, and you're like, you want to do a podcast? I was like, I guess, man, we argue a lot. Might as well give it a whirl.
Those arguments did, and those debates led to the idea of doing this podcast. And months later, we planned a little bit. We didn't just do it the next day, but months later, and some equipment was purchased, and this madness began. And in the beginning, like you mentioned earlier in the show here, how nervous we were and how we talk so damn fast. And it was like topic to topic to topic, and it was just pretty structured, you know. And now it's a little bit more.
We get off the train tracks a lot now. Like, it's like,
that's all right, though, isn't it?
And then you talk about another thing.
Well, that's all right.
It's good, though.
I like making fun of you. I mean, that's been the highlight of this whole thing, isn't it?
I guess, maybe.
Episode 1 was 21 minutes long. And I remember when we got done with it, we thought we'd, that was big for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, it was a quick episode, and at the end, I was like, oh, we're done already? Are you sure? But, I mean, I don't know.
That's 21 minutes. Now, episode 99, our last one, was 85 minutes.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a difference. Now, I don't even know if people want to listen to us for 85 minutes. Do you think? I don't know. Most of ours are at that 60 minutes.
Depends how long we talk about the damn coronavirus for, you know?
Oh, I can't wait till we don't ever have to talk about that again. But you know what? I think it's taught us both some things, and I think it's changed our podcast maybe a little bit too. And it's probably been a good thing. But, you know, we've had a lot of memories over the first 100 episodes. I remember Episode 50 was fun, and we kind of speculated on what the NHL would be like 10 years from now. I listened to that episode the other day, and it's one I'm definitely going to keep in the archives to listen to 10 years from now to see if we're right on some of our predictions. And then
I don't even remember what the hell we talked about.
Then episode 53 was a lot of fun too. That's the episode where we talked about being fans too, and how I'm a huge Calgary Flames fan.
Flames and the Canucks.
Yeah, and that was a fun episode. A lot of good banter back and forth, and fun to also let our listeners know like where our heart lies. Like, as much as we're fans of the entire National Hockey League, you know, we have our teams too. We have our players that we love, and, you know, we have our, you know, different things, whether we try not to be biased, but we're biased. Blake's really biased, but
not true.
Yes. But that was a fun episode. And then all the predictions that we've made and all the trade deadline speculations that we've made has been a lot of fun.
I predicted a few trades, not too many good Cup final predictions. But
your predictions
the trades were some of them were all right.
Your predictions have been brutal.
I mean, all predictions are brutal. You had one good prediction, and I haven't heard the end of it. Like, the Oilers are going to make the playoffs.
Hey, you keep
bringing that up.
You keep bringing it up. Keep bringing that up. And we had our WHL trip to Brandon where we watched some great WHL hockey. Saw a horrific injury.
What episode was that?
That was like 80 something.
Yeah.
80 something. Drank a lot of beer, had some wings. That was a fun show to do.
Oh, that's that time that guy broke his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was brutal. Ugh.
Brutal injury. And then episode 85, one of my favorites. And that was the episode where right after Roenick was on Spittin' Chicklets and Tortorella freaked out with his media outburst. That was a pretty comical episode, listening to us go back and forth on should Roenick lose his job or not lose his job. And lately it's been just a barrage
of... That feels like months ago.
It was months ago. Now it seems like all we talk about is coronavirus and how we've had to adjust the show. And, you know, it's been as bad as dealing with the lack of hockey and no hockey. I think we've modified the show pretty good and had some fun episodes when we really haven't had anything to talk about. And as much as it would have been easy for us to pull the plug and just take a break and, think about other things and not do podcasting, I think it's been an escape for both me and you. And quite honestly, I think it's been an escape from reality for our listeners. And I think that's really what we need right now.
Well, the thing about podcasts is, like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Like, if you're doing the dishes, if you're, like, playing video games, you can turn it on, and it's, like, that's what you listen to for a couple hours. Like, I listen to Spin Chicklets. I listen to Sean Avery's new podcast. I started listening to that. It's okay. Matthew Barnaby's got a podcast. I listen to a baseball podcast from Barstool. It's just a bunch of different topics. But, it keeps me entertained while we're going through this stupid time. You know,
and podcasts, we really need this escape right now. Yeah. It's been, we've had episodes where it seems like everything went right, and then we've had episodes where it seems like we couldn't get anything right. And I think that's with anything you do, though. You're going to have those episodes that are good and those episodes that that aren't good at all. And that's the way it goes. But to think that we made it to 100, if you take a look right now at all of the hockey podcasts out there isn't a lot of them at 100.
No.
Or any podcast, there's not a lot of them at 100. So we have a lot to be proud of there. And I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. And you know what?
Well, like sorry to cut you off there, but the biggest thing about podcasting is you gotta be consistent. Like, you can't do 2 podcasts you can't do a podcast every week for 4 weeks and take like 3 weeks off and then do, you gotta get in a good schedule.
That's one of the things we made the decision when we did this. It was going to be a weekly podcast and we were going to stick to it. And I think we've done a pretty good job with that. We've missed a couple for odds and ends things, but even in the off season, we've at least done one a month. This off season, I really don't know what this one will bring. As of now, until they pull a plug on the season, Blake and I are going to keep rolling with a weekly podcast. But it's tough to tell what life will bring this summer and how we keep going. But definitely a weekly podcast during the hockey season. We also owe a big special thanks to our sponsors that we've had over the 3 years. And a big thanks goes out to our current sponsor, UBGM. Hey, hockey fans, are you ready for UBGM.com? A brand new daily fantasy hockey app designed and built for hockey fans by hockey fans. Do you have ideas that would make your daily fantasy hockey experience better? Sign up as a VIP at UBGM.com/the debate. Add your voice to the growing community of UBGMers. You'll get a sneak peek at the app, plus an opportunity to tell us what you like and what you want more of from daily fantasy hockey. Join us today at UBGM.com/the debate. UBGM, we love hockey. All right, Blake, let's look back at the last 100 episodes and talk a bit about some of the funny things that have happened. And I wrote down a few, and I'm sure you've got a few. So let's kind of go back and forth on some of the oddball funny things that have happened. And one that definitely comes to mind, and I'm going to get it out of the way right away. And that was you picking the Edmonton Oilers. This was year 2 of our podcast. We had our big prediction show. We love prediction shows. And Blake picks the Edmonton Oilers to win the Stanley Cup.
All right. Next funny moment, please. Thanks.
You got to admit, though, Blake, that was a good one. We've laughed about it a lot.
They were coming off that season where Cam Talbot had 42 wins, and they went to Game 7 of the second round, and they had some decent pieces in the offseason. I thought, on paper, they're a pretty good hockey team, and they just didn't work out.
It didn't work out at all that year, but there's part 2 to this that's even as funny as that prediction, and that is how now you are completely gun-shy in the opposite way about the Edmonton Oilers.
I'm not picking Edmonton to make the playoffs. They ain't making me sound dumb twice. That ain't happening.
Well, they are currently in a playoff spot, and thus I know that the season's on pause, and we have no idea what will happen. But after the Oilers started with a really, really hot start, here's what you had to say.
Oh, my God.
Do you know that Edmonton got 3 out of 4 points this weekend, and McDavid didn't have a point? Now, that would have never, ever, ever, ever happened before this year.
Well, yeah, they're getting production from guys like James Neal, and he's got 9 goals.
So when he dries up, then are the Oilers going to dry up?
No, I'm not saying that. It's
I'm
just
just
I
asking.
don't think that the Oilers are that good of a hockey team.
I don't
They're
either.
off to a good start.
I still think they've set themselves up good, though, to be in the playoffs.
So if they lose their next 6, are they still set up because they have 7 wins their first 8?
They're still above 500. There's a lot of teams that are good.
Talk to me.
There's a lot of teams that are good struggling to be 500.
Talk to me at Christmas about the Oilers.
I
If
will.
they're in the playoff spot come Christmas, maybe we'll talk. Until then, we ain't talking about the Oilers.
All right. Well, I won't forget that. Blake, they're still in a playoff spot, buddy.
It's too bad the season's going to be canceled. It might have been their year, man.
I know. And you know why that doesn't break my heart at all? Being a Flames fan, anytime, see, the Oilers technically still miss the playoffs this year, right? Right?
I guess.
That's how funny that one is. And okay, now it's time to turn the table on me. And
Roll the tapes. Roll the tape.
I don't have the tape.
Roll the tape.
I don't have
You got
the
to
tape.
insert the tape. Come on, man. You just did me dirty.
Okay, me and you both picked Vegas to be dead last the first year. We did.
We did.
We did. But their first 10 games slowly changed your mind a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But I was stubborn as hell and naive as hell when it came to the Vegas Golden Knights in year one. And I, about a week before the playoffs started, was still...
Oh, you predicted them to miss the playoffs in like January.
I know I did. I just held strong on it that they were... And then when they did make the playoffs, I was the first
like,
one...
Oh, first round exit. I was like, I don't know, man. They got Fleury. They got deep team.
And they showed me and really, really...
You have to find the clip that said... You have to find the clip that you said, and I quote, you said, if Vegas makes the playoffs, I will buy a Vegas Golden Knights jersey. Find that clip and insert it.
I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to deny that.
And you still have no jersey.
I still don't have a jersey.
Come on, man.
I know. I think you owe me a coffee, though, don't you?
No, you owe me a coffee because you said that the deal was that you said that the hit on Pedersen against Florida, there wouldn't be a suspension.
That's right. That's for the coffee.
That's what that was for, yeah.
I was just okay buying you a coffee because I got you so damn riled up that show and got you so pissed off that I don't think you were talking.
Dirty play, man. It's a dirty play.
You were going crazy. Then how about our argument in season 1 about Laine and Matthews?
Oh, how's that working out for you?
It's fine. I like Laine.
But you can admit now that Matthews is a better player than Laine.
It's not done yet. I'm not giving up on this argument. Their careers are not done. Their careers are not done.
Different players. And
I agree.
Matthews is a way better two-way player than Laine. Way better.
We'll see. I'm not giving up on Laine.
Way better goal scorer, too.
Oh, forget that.
Matthews, he has one of the best shots in the league.
Laine's got a way better shot than Matthews.
He had like 47 goals in like 68 games.
Oh, no.
Dude, Laine stands at one spot, though. He's Ovechkin Jr.
Yeah, and Ovechkin said he's a great scorer.
Okay, sure.
Just like Ovechkin is. You're the one that's on the Ovechkin train all the time.
Well, he is going to break Gretzky's record. It doesn't matter how many games are lost. I mean, you just got to pick up some slack for the time lost, man.
I don't know. How about both of us talking on numerous episodes, about how pathetic the fans and the support that the Florida Panthers and Arizona Coyotes get? That has always been a topic on the hot seat for us in these shows, and I don't think that one's going to go away either.
I'm not trying to get death threats from this pod, but I mean, like, it's getting ridiculous. Like,
it's bad.
It's so bad. Like, Florida gets an average of what, like 9,000 a night. Like, I'm not even trying to rip just the states that do bad. Look at the Ottawa Senators, man. That's a Canadian market, and they hardly get fans.
Yeah, I'm going to defend
Part of that is where the arena is. I get that.
But I'm going to defend that. The ownership group there is having some major struggles, and they're not doing anything to help themselves. That's a short-lived problem.
They need an arena downtown.
Well, that's a short-lived problem, though. The Ottawa Senators aren't going anywhere because they do get good fan support. It's just the fact that when we're talking about Arizona and Florida, though, we're talking 20 years of no fan support.
Yeah.
That's a real big problem.
Well, Arizona did good for a little stretch, but then after that, they just fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Like when Mike Smith was good there, they sold a lot, and they went to the third round of the playoffs in 2012, lost to the Kings in game 5 in the Western Conference final, and then after that, everything just went downhill.
You know, one of my favorite things about this show is the 3 questions segment that we go back and forth on every episode. And we've had some pretty good debates and banners during our 3 questions. And one of them, talking about biggest disappointments. Your question was about the biggest disappointment. And I thought it was kind of funny where this one actually went.
What do you think the biggest disappointment is first 10 games into the season?
You.
Get out of here.
The biggest disappointment 10 games into the season. You want to know what my biggest disappointment is? You're going to laugh. You know what my biggest disappointment is? I'm pissed off at Sportsnet.
For what?
They got rid of half of the good guys.
I know.
And now they got a bunch of people. I have no idea who these people are. I
Like
don't
even radio and
like all through the radio, TV, everybody. I used to freaking couldn't wait to take a lunch break to go listen to Brian Burke and I wasn't a Kiprios fan, but Kiprios and
John Chan.
and no, McLean.
Oh.
Doug McLean was the funniest guy he made me watch. I watched the show because of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not ripping David Amber. I like David Amber. But come on, like they've cleaned house on everybody. It's the thing that's pissed me off the most this season.
No money.
Yep, Sportsnet really got me fired up. It still has me pissed off, doesn't you?
Yeah, and then this past year they let Don Cherry go for saying that people should wear a poppy. You people, and apparently it was discriminatory, and he was wrong. And
you want to know something funny? Think about that. Man. Think about since the day Don Cherry was fired.
Oh, their ratings went way down.
Well, that in this world has went to hell.
Did you? Yeah,
it has. Name one positive thing that's happened in this world.
2020,
since the day Don Cherry got fired, we have dealt with more shit.
Don Cherry got fired. Kobe Bryant died. We are in a fucking world pandemic. It's
not good.
Horrible.
It's not good. UFOs, aliens, giant wasps. You hear about this now?
Yeah. I don't pay attention to that shit.
We have giant wasps now in Washington state that are 2 inches long and have
Can they kill people?
Yes. They have the stinging power 7 times what a normal one does. And if you get stung by multiple ones, you die.
What?
Yes. They look like birds.
Damn.
2020. Don Cherry should. That was the start of the whole debacle that we're dealing with.
My dad was listening to a radio piece, and Don Cherry was on the radio, and the host asked him, "Have you talked to Ron McLean since he threw you under the bus?"
He didn't really throw.
Guess what he said?
What?
He said, "I haven't talked to him since." That's they were best friends.
That's really too bad though, because they were
like this. But Ron McLean was put in a tough situation.
He was put in a horrible situation, and I'll defend Ron McLean on that one.
They haven't talked since, so I don't know, man. Crazy world.
You know, one of the stupidest things that have come up on our podcast in the first 100 episodes. I think it's the stupidest thing we talked about. That was the Carolina storm surge.
Oh, I love that stuff. You love it too, man.
God.
It's your favorite. It's your favorite part about a Carolina win, man.
I just got
what they do next.
Picture of Dougie Hamilton doing that stupid dance, and I just makes me want to puke.
You're a huge Dougie Hamilton fan,
oh
no?
Yeah, I love him. I love him.
He's the best Calgary Flame defenseman of all time.
Oh my God, drove me absolutely crazy.
Hey, he had 19 goals with you though. That's good.
Yeah, he had freaking 28 turnovers, too. God, that guy was brutal. Pizzas up the middle every night. Jesus. Remember that sweet picture I took of you in your Raptor shirt that you kept blocking me from posting on Twitter?
Yeah, man.
I still got that. It will come out.
Looks sexy.
Yeah. You had some goofy-ass mustache. You look like a pedophile. Yeah, I'm going to put that out there.
Going now, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what else was really fun?
Quarantine beard going strong.
Speaking of quarantine and beards and silliness during this pandemic, but remember when we did the episode, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
We're not playing that piece.
Let's play. We're going to play. I got a 20-minute clip.
Why, man? 20 minutes? Yeah. No way, man.
No. We won't subject anybody.
That's a smart fifth grader.
That was a damn.
Give me some defense here, man.
Maybe we'll have to do Are You Smarter Than a Kindergartner? This pandemic keeps going.
I still get it wrong, man.
Oh, man. You know what else I've learned during this whole 100 episodes with you?
You know what else we learned?
What?
That I indeed am smarter than Noah Grant in trivia, man.
You are. Playoff trivia. You kicked Noah's ass.
We did.
You did. You know what else I've learned, and you're still doing it tonight too?
And he gets all buttered. He's like, let's do trivia, a life trivia. I'll blow the doors off you. I'm like, dude, hey man,
a life trivia? What is that?
Like, dude, we're not doing that.
This is a hockey show, not a life show.
Exactly. And that's what I told him. And I was just like, man, I'm just smarter than you when it comes to hockey, man. There's nothing I can do about that.
Jesus. Speaking of that, you might be smart at hockey, but I can't even count how many times I've had to edit all your banging the frickin' microphone and moving around shit during this episodes. It's got ADHDs.
ADD, man. Can't sit still sometimes.
It's not good. It's not good at all, man. And I don't know how many hours of I can't get these hours back, Blake. So you're gonna have to sit still, man.
Inside Edge Hockey News, bringing the NHL to the fans.
All right, there's been a ton of NHL events that have happened while we've been doing this, and let's roll through some of the ones that I really remember. And we touched on this earlier, but first episode we talked about Vegas getting out of the gates so fast. And, if we did that same talk today, and if that was happening today, we'd probably talk about it for 15 minutes. That whole show was 21. So, I don't know. It blows my mind that Vegas has been as successful as they've been. And I will still bet that Seattle doesn't get that same luxury.
Well, the thing is about Seattle, they're not going to get, oh yeah, we'll give you a Carlson and Marchessault not to take this guy, and we'll throw in a first round pick. We'll give you Theodore not to take Cam Fowler, and like the teams are just going to give him one player and they're going to be done with it. So they're going to be at a disadvantage. All the GMs learn their lesson, not to give Vegas some extra players and draft picks to, like, I don't know. I just don't get that theory. Like, we're going to give these guys a second round pick and 2 players not to take one player. Just give them the one player and be done with it.
Well, there was so much fear, though. There was just so much fear. And this second time around, I think teams are just going to be like, let's pick our guys and protect the ones we have to. And we're going to.
If we lose this guy, we lose this guy. That's just how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Like the Canucks are probably going to lose Thatcher Demko. I mean, that's
the assuming they sign Jacob Markstrom.
Well, or the Canucks are going to try to trade Thatcher Demko to get something for him.
But they still have to sign Markstrom.
I know, but they'll sign Markstrom. Yeah. I'm not worried about that. But they're in a tough spot. They're in a tough spot in the expansion draft.
Episode 27, we finally saw Alexander Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals win a Stanley Cup over this Vegas team that we've talked so much about on this episode. That was a great Stanley Cup playoffs. It really was.
Yep.
A lot of excitement, a lot of good close games that year. And
there's a lot of overtimes that year, too.
Yeah, and it really makes me sad at what we're missing right now. Episode 100 was supposed to be during the middle of the playoffs and was supposed to be a lot more excitement. It was actually going to be a supplemental episode that Blake and I did, and we were going to do a regular show talking playoffs and then do this as a extra episode. But now we have nothing else to talk about, so it's taken the spot of a full episode. So
seeing Ovi finally win that cup though was really special because you always had the Crosby Ovechkin debate. No, Crosby's got the gold medals, he's got the cups, he's got the Conn Smythe, and then to finally for him to win that cup, it kind of cemented his legacy. I mean he's going to go down as the greatest goal scorer of all time. Of all time, he's going to go down as the greatest goal scorer we've ever seen in the history of the NHL. And people would still discredit him because he didn't win a Stanley Cup. And now, he can take that and shove it right in their face now.
I've never been a big Washington Capitals fan, but I will be truthful in saying that I was happy to see them win. I think Ovechkin has earned a Stanley Cup. And I think that whole team earned a Stanley Cup. That's a good hockey team and was a good hockey team for a lot of years before winning that cup.
2008 to when they won the cup, they won all these President's trophies and they just were first round exit after first round exit. And then they ran into Pittsburgh like 4 years in a row in the second round. And it's like, boy, is this core going to ever be able to get over the hump? And then Kuznetsov scores in overtime in game 7 against Pittsburgh to finally, get him over the hump. And, then they won the cup.
Episode 30, we talked about Tavares finally signing with the Leafs. And that seemed like that whole Tavares saga consumed the news of hockey for an eternity, it seemed like. And it was just nice to see him finally make a decision and nice to get that out of the news in a way, right?
We should roll the tapes of Sean Avery talking about it.
I forgot about that. I forgot all about that.
He, I just listened to that the other day. Actually, I was on YouTube and I stumbled across it. And it's like a little 57 second clip, and it's like, oh, what is Tavares like? What does he owe the fans of the Islanders? Like, you guys are throwing snakes at him, and like he's like, the place is a dump, and it's just like, wow. But Tavares, like, to see a guy like Tavares, like a superstar like that, go home, it's something that we haven't seen in a long time, and that could start a new trend. We might see some more players do that.
I think we're going to see players do it just surely because there's going to be so many teams that don't have the money to pay up. So yeah. I think we'll see more players.
The thing with Tavares too, he turned down $13 million to go to the Sharks.
Yeah, remember that? I forgot about that.
Same term. Like, I think the Sharks. Like,
needless to say, they wouldn't have Carlson
right now. They wouldn't have Carlson.
No,
they shouldn't have Carlson right now because they never should have signed him.
No, I'm with you there. That team
brutal signing.
That team.
They're so
screwed. Oh,
they're so. What am I looking for? Their hands are like tied so bad behind their backs right now.
Yeah. Episode 44. Seattle is awarded an expansion franchise, and we talked on that episode about names and nicknames of that franchise. And we both, I think if I remember right, you were a fan of the Kraken, right?
Oh yeah, still am.
I want the Kraken too.
Kraken.
But you know what's so dumb about this and so stupid is we still don't know the name.
Well, they were supposed to have a team name by now, but now this virus, they just like, oh, we're going to hold off now. It's like, come on.
Give us some news. Wouldn't you think now would be the best time to do it?
This is a great opportunity to market this name in the franchise.
Oh, we're starving for hockey news. Like, give us some news. Give us the Kraken.
Exactly, man.
Episode 46, Dallas Stars ownership calls out Ben and Sagan in the most public display I have ever seen.
Oh, man. Where do I start with this? Like, it was just idiotic. Like, Jamie Benn has been everything for this team. They drafted him in the 4th round, and Tyler Sagan's a superstar, and like, just the thing. But where they came from with those comments, they were literally one shot away from the Stanley Cup last year.
They were
one shot away. Game 7 overtime. Patrick Maroon scored for the Blues in double overtime, and it just, maybe that kick started the Dallas Stars because they did go on a little bit of a heater after that, after he called them out.
I kind of think it did.
Because, like, when you got your owner, like, it's one thing for a coach to put the team on blast. It's one thing for the GM to put you on blast. But when the owner is like, these guys just aren't getting it done, it's like,
and that shit, like, publicly, like, he searched out the media on that. That wasn't like the media digging up something. He, like, went at it guns a-blazing.
Yeah, and I think Jamie Benn and Sagan was like, okay, we got to wake the hell up here, and they turned it around for sure.
Episode 65, the hand pass of all hand passes. San Jose wins a playoff game over St. Louis on quite possibly a conference finals game to top it off. I quite honestly, the most horrible missed call on a hand pass I have ever seen in my life. I watched it again last night. Unreal.
I'm watching it live, and I'm thinking, I got PVR. Like, I can rewind live TV and stuff. Okay, so I'm watching.
Blake's high tech here, guys. He's high tech.
High tech. I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, that's a hand pass. All of a sudden, they score, and they celebrate. I'm like, whoa, like, what is going on here? Like, this is a hand pass. I rewind it like twice. I'm like, okay, this is a hand pass. Like, this got to be reviewed or something. Like, this can't be a game-winning goal. And I like, it's probably one of the worst calls besides that Cody Eakin cross-check on Pavelski.
And that's where I'm rolling next, Blake, so take it away.
Brutal. Cody Eakin cross-checks Joe Pavelski in the chest, like harmless off the draw. Joe Pavelski falls, hits his head on the ice, he's bleeding. Cody Eakin gets assessed a 5-minute major. San Jose, who is down 3-0, with 10 minutes left, go on and score 4 goals in this 5-minute power play. Boom. Vegas' season is over.
I got a side story to that whole incident.
Absolutely.
I was not feeling well that night. And I went to bed. And when the penalty was called, my wife came up my wife's a moderate hockey fan. I mean, she knows the game. She knows the game pretty well. I hate to admit it, she's a Vegas Golden Knights fan. But she knows the game pretty well. But she was watching the game, and she came up, and I don't know if she could sense that the shit was going to hit the fan or what, but she woke me up, and she's like, you want to come down and watch this? And I'm like, I was feeling like garbage. I'm like, oh, what's happening? Like, she's like, 5-minute major, guy's bleeding out the top of his helmet. You're probably going to want to come down. And I'm thinking, is he going to die? You know? And so I come downstairs, and Pavelski's off the ice already, and the power play is just starting, and it's like freaking goal. And I'm like,
Goal.
oh my God, am I glad she woke me up? You know?
It's just the way it happened. It's like, okay, I get it. I get it from a San Jose fans. Oh, you got to kill the penalty off. You can't give up 4 goals on the power, but that probably never should have happened.
No, it should have never.
Like, it's like, and then we want to talk about another controversial play that happened in that Cup Finals.
We might as well.
Colorado offside next round.
That was in the previous round.
Oh yeah, but still, like, San Jose just basically skated to the conference final.
In San Jose,
controversies.
Yeah. Oh man. It was a
Colorado
playoff.
scores the game tying goal in Game 7, and it gets called off because fucking Landeskog's making a line change. It's like, that's like, how is that even a thing?
You know, the thing is, like, you know, Gary Bettman had to have been like going to bed.
Oh, he's just
and
like,
thinking,
oh, man,
what
another
in the
nightmare.
world? And now he's got the nightmare of not having playoff hockey because of a pandemic. Oh man, it's crazy.
Poor Gary's losing so much money.
$1 billion.
More than that, probably.
Yeah, probably. Episode 60.
NHL is only worth what, like
they say about 4.5 billion a year is what
that's a quarter of
they're losing a quarter of them, over a quarter of the money
revenue
this year. Yeah,
that's crazy.
So look out, players on escrow.
No, it's just gonna be a flat cap.
No, the players still.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, then the cap's gonna have.
It's gonna be a flat cap, and the escrow is gonna be spread over the next 3 years.
If the owners agree to it,
I think they will.
They don't have to.
I think they'll understand where everything, like, they're.
But wait a second. Wait a second. There is an agreement. They can just say to the players, "No, you owe me this money."
Yeah, but they do CBAs next year, so we might be looking at a damn lockout if that's the case.
No, the players agreed to that CBA. And now if the players don't want to go play in neutral sites because they don't want to be away from their families, you're making a bet here that you probably don't want to lay in, right?
Yeah, it's just a shitty situation for everybody, man.
Episode 67, we talked about rule changes and different ideas that me and you have for rule changes, and I'm an old school guy. Like, I don't like rule changes. I think this league changes rules too much. There is a few that I would love to see instituted. Is there one rule change that you would like to see put into place?
Let's get some more goal interference challenges. I don't know.
That's what you want?
No, I don't know. Just get rid of the replays.
Get rid of the replay completely?
No icing on a penalty kill. I like to see that.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
You know what I'd like to see? I would like to see
bring back the 2-line pass.
Hey, I'm gonna throw one out. Then I heard this one the other day, and I can't remember who. I don't even remember where I heard it because I would give them credit because this is good. Was it Darren Millard? Maybe, I don't know. I might be wrong. He says that he thinks that if you score a shorthanded goal.
That was Jeff Merrick.
Yeah, it was Jeff Merrick. You're right.
If you score a goal on a penalty shot,
no, not a penalty shot. If you're short-handed, then your guy and you score, your guy gets to come out of the penalty box. Interesting.
I don't know. It is I don't know. I can't see that happening.
You know what? One thing I would like to see changed. I don't think bench doors should be allowed to be open during play.
Yeah, dude. Like you saw with Brock Besser a couple years ago. Like,
there's been other ones too.
He could end his damn career at 21 years old. It's just like
the
only reason why that shit is there is for trainers and stretchers. Jeez, I can't.
Stretchers don't come out the door there. They come out the.
Well, in some buildings they do come out out the hallway there.
All I'm gonna say is
out in the back.
Just the players, you can use
the players hop over the board.
I know, but you can use the doors if the play is stopped. If it's not stopped, you can't open the doors. It's simple, right?
If the play is going, the doors need to stay closed.
Episode 78, we dove deep into the Dustin Byfuglien saga and how he did not report to Winnipeg this year and leaves the team hanging for an entire year. They get screwed out of the cap, and I don't know why more Winnipeg fans don't want Dustin Byfuglien strung up.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, like, I'd be pissed off if I was a Jets fan because Dustin Byfuglien's not making small money. He's making $7.5 million. And that $7.5 million could have went to keeping Ben Sherratt or Tyler Myers. Like,
absolutely.
They could have, like, rebuilt that decor, and instead they had to rely on a lot of young defensemen, you know, the Logan Stanleys, the Josh Morrisseys, and
Pionk,
who they got in that.
Who all performed pretty well.
They did play good, and you got to give a lot of credit to Paul Maurice. I think he was in the running for the coach of the year. Absolutely. But
I think he's the best coach in the National Hockey League.
I would have to agree with you there. And I just think he majorly screwed him over. Like even if he didn't want to play, be like, all right, man, I don't want to play. You can use my $7.5 million. I'm going to retire. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I think, and then at the end of the day, he didn't even take the money. So what did he hold out for? He walked away from $14 million. I
don't know.
What the hell was the deal there? If he didn't want to play, he was obviously in it for the money, and then at the end of the day, he didn't take the money. So it's like it doesn't make sense.
Well, they're in a dispute over the payments of the final years. So
yeah, I don't know, man.
Episode 95 was an episode that I never thought we'd ever have happen. And we're not going to talk about it long, but did you ever in your life think we'd be discussing the shutdown of the hockey/sports world because of a pandemic?
Yeah, isn't it crazy to think that was like 38 days ago? Like I remember it was March 15th or 17th. 15th. I remember 15th. Mm-hmm. Rudy Gobert tested positive in the NBA. NBA shut down like literally 4 minutes later.
Was it the 13th maybe? I can't remember. It was like the 13th.
It was mid-March, but the NBA shuts down literally 2 minutes after he got tested positive. Next day, MLB pushed back, NHL canceled, all these sporting events canceled, March Madness canceled. It's like, wow, like this is actually happening. It's crazy to think that like it's still going on.
Although we call this show The Debate, there is a few times that Blake and I agree. And I'm going to name 3 things that we agree on. We've always agreed on replay inconsistencies.
Yep.
And we've always agreed that we hate the All-Star game. And we hate it even more when players don't want to go. So now going on further, one last comment about the All-Star game, and then we're going to talk about World Juniors.
Canucks are going to be well represented, though. Quinn Hughes is going to be getting in, too.
Well, Dylan Larkin went out.
Oh, yeah, that was ridiculous.
And in the press says, tell fans not to vote for me. I'd rather just go when I want to travel.
Like, what has he done in this league that he is that entitled to do that?
I hope Steve Yzerman drug him in the back room and said, listen here, you little shit.
Oh, that's what Burke said.
Well, I know that, but I hope Yzerman does do that because it should be a privilege to go to this game. This game is for the kids. This game is for young fans. Yeah. And for players to be this selfish, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
You know what? The hockey gods are going to get him.
Think so?
He's going to have a bad year next year. He's not only going to have a bad year, he's going to have to play on the Red Wings. That's bad.
Okay, so 2 parts to that. For Larkin to do that, dipshit move. For Ovechkin to do that, I completely understand that.
Nope.
He's put in his time. He's 35 years old, and if he doesn't want to go, he doesn't have to go. He's been to 13 All-Star games.
Still for the kids. He doesn't have to play, but he's got to go.
Okay,
he's got to go there and shake hands and be with the kids and promote the game because that's what the All-Star Game's about. If players aren't going to go and they're not going to promote the game, then we don't even need to have it.
I get, yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, like if they don't want to play, like if you, like Ovechkin's case, like if you've played in,
what would it hurt him to play? Like seriously though, what would it hurt
I
him?
don't know. Like it's
for fun, right?
A few days off.
Blake, you sound like an NBA guy.
I don't know.
These guys get the whole next week off, Blake. They get the whole next week before or after the All-Star game off. Get it off. A whole week.
You didn't want to travel, man. I don't know.
It's unreal. And one other thing that we usually and always agree on is that Brad Marchand and Tom Wilson are assholes.
Peasants.
Right?
Mutants,
Don't like them.
whatever you want to call them. Losers. I don't know. I'm running out of words to describe these guys.
Let's talk about greatest hockey moments.
Okay.
So, what is your best moment you've witnessed in hockey? Doesn't have to be live. It could be on TV. But what is the coolest thing that you've ever seen in hockey? Or what was the time where you were the most excited or something that really stands out in your hockey career?
Me playing?
No,
personally?
not you playing. Not you playing.
Oh,
no.
I was like, what?
Watching.
Okay, this might sound biased.
I don't care if it's biased. I just want the truth.
The Sedin's last home game in Vancouver when Daniel scored the overtime goal and assisted by
I remember that. It was against Arizona, right?
Yeah, it was against Arizona.
Shane Doan passed it to Daniel.
No, that's not.
That's what
Shane Doan
happened,
wasn't
right?
even in the league, man.
Oh, shit. I thought that.
But, like, I'll give you two. Okay, that was on the moment
Can I guess your second one?
What is
If
it?
it's not the
No, this is
2011
live.
Vancouver,
This is live. This is I've seen live.
You were live at that first one? No,
that was on TV.
Okay, so now you're on to question number 2 now.
Yes, the live one.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a Vancouver one either.
Okay, what's your live one?
2017. Or no, 2017.
Okay.
Edmonton Oilers versus the Boston Bruins. The first time I've ever seen Connor McDavid play live, it's breathtaking. It is absolutely breathtaking. This guy had 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points. Oilers won 8-5. Tuukka got pulled in the second period. And it was in the new arena in Edmonton, and the place was rocking.
Now I have a side note.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Rumor was that night that you were wearing an Oilers jersey.
I do wear an Oilers jersey. And then I wore a Canucks jersey.
Oh, that is such...
Yep.
Lightning should strike your ass right now.
Yeah, man, I wore an Oilers jersey. I regret it deeply, man.
And
My skin is still itching from that shit, man.
I almost think that we should just call the show right now because I threw you a softball there to hear about your 2011 Canucks run.
Well, I didn't go to any games live.
Yeah, but did you hear what my first question was? What was your best hockey moment that you've witnessed?
Well, I'm not going to say the Cup final because they lost. Like, that's not a proud moment. Like, they fucking rioted the city, man.
Yeah.
Not a cool moment. Like, if they would have won the Cup, then obviously, like, sure. But, like, I don't know. When you blow a 2-0 lead and a 3-2 lead.
No, I'm with you.
It's just not fun, man.
It's true Canucks fashion. I understand. Mine,
What's yours?
my favorite moment of all, it brought my love for hockey and my level of watching the National Hockey League to a whole new level in 2004 when Calgary went on that run. Oof. It brought my addiction to a new level where I was listening to post game, listening to pregame. I had never done that before. I had always watched the games, but if I was at the bar drinking a few pops with the boys, I didn't care as much. In 2004, it changed everything. And my favorite team lost, but it changed everything. I swear to God, I tore my rotator cuff jumping off the couch when we beat San Jose in overtime. It hurt so freaking bad. I started to cry.
Yeah, well, honestly, I was 6 years old when that happened in 2004. But, like, I still remember most of that, like, run. Like, that's,
that was an epic run.
That's probably they slayed the Dragon. They beat Detroit. Then they went on.
No, they beat Vancouver first. And then they beat
Vancouver
Detroit.
in 7, and then they beat Detroit. And then they beat
San Jose.
San Jose was first in the league.
They were
unbelievable that year.
Yes,
I think that was the first year. Did they have Joel Thornton that year?
Yep.
Yeah, that was the first year at Thornton.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they had Thornton.
They had Evgeny Nabokov. He was unbelievable.
No, they didn't have Nabokov. Oh, yeah, San Jose had Nabokov.
Yeah, San Jose had Nabokov in that.
Tampa Bay had Hobby Bulin.
Hobby Bulin, another good goalie. But like, does it like? I got a question. Like, I'm not even trying to be a dickhead about this. Like, when you look back at Game 6, is it like, does that still like eat away at you?
What part?
Like, when Jalanow put the puck and then they didn't review that it would cross the line.
You know, a lot of people ask me that question.
Like, I'm not even trying to be a dick.
No, you know what a fiery person I am and how I get worked up about shit and I go off the rails sometimes. Surprisingly, Blake, I didn't. And I don't know if it was just that I was so happy with where the team was at that point in time. I was disappointed it was a no-goal. What I was more shocked was of the explanations from the league at that time. But if it happened, I'm just going to be truthful. If it happened today,
if it happened today, people would lose jobs.
I would lose my mind more than I did in 04. And maybe, you know what, another reason I think that is? Well, in 04, I was younger, and you always think when you're younger, and I think you're probably...
You're a more diehard fan now. Yeah?
I'm a way more diehard fan now. This is what got me to this level. 89, and then winning the cup got me to a level, and then 04 brought me to an extreme level. But what happens is, when you're younger, and in 04 I was younger, and I thought, oh, well, this team's going to have so many shots at this. But that's really not the case. You know, I think we need to look at it. If your team is playing the Stanley Cup Finals, we all need to react like this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and we're probably not going to get another shot at this.
It is. I mean, like...
But that's
unless you're a fan of Detroit, Pittsburgh, Chicago, or LA, like...
I know.
Like, those don't come around very often. And, like, the thing is, like, how good was Mika Kiprusoff? Came in in a trade from San Jose as a rookie and just played lights out all year long.
Unreal.
And the fact that it pisses me off that his jersey is not retired right now. Like,
it will be.
It better be retired.
It will
same with Theo Fleury's number. Same with Joe Nieuwendyke's number. They all should be retired. All three of those guys.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
Kiprusoff better be the first one going after the.
Oh, I think Fleury should be the first.
Okay, yeah, and then Kiprusoff.
Just probably because Fleury played prior to Kiprusoff.
Yeah, and he won a cup.
Yeah. My greatest moment that I witnessed live was the 2005 World Junior Championships in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Crosby, Ovechkin. I will never, ever forget driving up to beautiful Ralph Engelstad Arena.
And you're like, holy shit, I get to see Crosby play Ovechkin.
Coming around and Malkin and Phaneuf and Perry and the...
Getzlaf was on that team.
Getzlaf, everybody. Bergeron was on that team. Shea Weber was on that team.
Fleury was on that team too?
No.
Maybe not. He was the year before.
Loaded for bear. I mean, but I remember, I'll never forget walking outside. It was a really cold Christmas day it started. It was snowing, and there was Christmas trees out in the lawn out front of the hockey arena, and there was families opening Christmas gifts out front of the hockey arena, and it was just awesome. And I spent 2 full weeks in Grand Forks, North Dakota. I went to every single game.
Yeah, that would have been cool. You went to the gold medal game too?
I went to every single game.
Did Canada win that year? I can't remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
I went to every single game, and what was really cool was some of the games that didn't matter. When Kazakhstan was playing Germany, there was 200 people there, but I sat in a section where almost all of the general managers were sitting. Yeah. I sat 2 seats away from Ray Bourque during the gold medal game. I got to sit by Gretzky, was a row or two behind me. Daryl Sutter sat next to me one game. It was an amazing experience. It was really, really cool.
That gig.
They were all sitting out in the stands.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was a lockout. Everybody from the National Hockey League was there.
I thought they would have like blocked off a seat.
No, they were just all out there.
That was a lockout year, yeah.
That was a lockout year. It was just an amazing, amazing event to go to.
Inside Edge Hockey News. Dropping the gloves. And stirring the pot.
All right, Blake, as we wrap up here shortly, let's talk about the future of this podcast. We're 100 episodes in, And plan number 1 is to keep this train rolling. We hope to expand and grow with each episode, and I don't see why we can't go for 200. If I put up with you for 100, I think we can do 200. If life and jobs take Blake and I in separate directions, heck, we got this Zoom now. We've been doing it since this pandemic.
And that, like, you look at like Spit and Chicklets, they've been in person for 2 episodes.
Yep.
The rest is on Zoom. I mean, they're in person for all the interviews, but like not like actual podcasts.
And I'm not going to lie, I like doing ours in person when we can.
Yeah.
But we found a platform
I ain't
here.
staying in Minot forever.
I found a platform that both Blake and I feel comfortable with, and I don't know. I don't see any reason why we can't go shoot for number 200. You know, one of the things that both of us have taken pride in when doing these episodes is we speak the truth. We like to say it like it is. Neither one of us are shy about stating our opinions, and sometimes we cross the line, and we might have on this one.
One of the problems we have in this world today is that when people speak the truth now, they get crucified.
Well, people are too sensitive.
We're too politically correct now, and you can't step on anybody's toes. For God forbid, do we want somebody's feelings hurt.
Yeah.
Now, I'm guessing that Bruce Boudreau could have given 2 shits less about this, to be honest with you.
It was water off the back. I'm sure he don't care.
Because Bruce Boudreau doesn't need the Minnesota Wild.
That's I don't know. Maybe we needed to put that part into the show for Don Cherry, because we're not always politically correct on this. We're not always right either, but we speak the truth and we speak our opinions, and that's one of the reasons why we've made it 100 episodes. I truly believe that. Improvements for the future. A couple things that Blake and I have talked about and things we want to do is we'd like to bring video into the game. And if all goes as planned, we'll premiere video next season. Now, that may take some work along the way and everything, but...
Talking like Zoom video?
Yeah. So hopefully, along with audio that you'll be able to get on, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and all the places that you're listening to us now, we're hoping to have a YouTube link where you can actually look at our ugly faces and watch us do these shows. Also,
that means I have to shave every week, man.
Blake, you're going to have to clean up a lot, buddy. You're going to have to clean up a lot. And then, if everything keeps rolling like we'd like to in the future, it's always been a dream to go and do some live shows and take listener calls. Those are not always easy steps to take, but one that Blake and I would really, really like to. And they are big plans, but they're all within reach and things we'd like to do.
Now, have to be like a live show, no?
Yeah, with listener calls, we'd have to.
Yeah.
Now, let's dream big on the big levels. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could get this podcast on a major NHL syndication?
Yeah.
Barstool Sports, NHL Radio, numerous other platforms. Yep, it's a dream. We're 100 in. Most podcasts don't make it that long. You never know. It doesn't hurt to dream big. Blake, what are your personal plans as we roll here into the next 100 episodes of this show?
Well, I reached out to about 90 hockey teams across Western Canada, including OHL, WHL. I've had a few teams reach out to me via text, email. I got an interview actually set up tomorrow with the head coach of the Burud Oil Caps of the Manitoba Junior Hockey League. I had an interview with Way of the Manitoba Junior Hockey League. A couple of teams from BC reached out for me. So I just got to see where the interviews take me and see if I can find a job.
It'd be really cool if you were out working in Western Canada, and it would actually add another whole other aspect to this show and improve our show even more and have more hockey fun stories to talk about. My personal plans, focus on this podcast. I'd like to do those improvements that we talked about and grow it a little bit more. I want to continue to work on being the best dad and husband that I can and get more fit. Blake and I have both talked about that. And keep improving my golf game. I've golfed more this year already than I have last year.
as I've been going almost every single day during this pandemic.
What's the wife think about that?
She's good with it. She's totally good with it.
Really?
Yeah.
You take your son out too?
I've been playing a lot with my dad.
Oh, yeah?
Six times.
Is he a good golfer?
My dad's a very, very good golfer. Yeah.
Is he a lefty too?
No, he's a right-handed.
Are you righty too?
Yeah, I'm right-handed.
You shoot left, golf right. What?
I golf right and shoot left hockey.
That's weird.
No, it's not.
You and my dad are the same way.
It's because you and your dad we're both smart, because you're supposed to have your strong hand up top when you shoot in hockey.
See, I'm a lefty, and I bat left, golf left, shoot left, catch with my right, and right with my right.
Yeah, you're the goofy one, Blake.
All lefty, man. Lefty special. But I write with my right hand, but do everything left. It doesn't make sense.
No, you don't make sense. I'd also like to grow and expand my NHL news and podcast platform website called Inside Edge Hockey News, where you can get all these episodes. And then I will roll next year into year 2 of the Calgary Flames podcast, Flames Unfiltered. You can hear that twice a week on the Hockey Podcast Network and flamesunfiltered.com. And another major thing that I want to do in the next 100 episodes is watch even more hockey. Because can you ever watch enough hockey, Blake?
How is that podcast going for you, the Flames Unfiltered?
I love it, man. It's a lot of fun talking about the team you love. Now, I love doing this one because we have a good banter going back and forth, but it is a lot of fun.
Is it hard,
It takes a lot of time.
Is it hard, you got to kind of talk to yourself when you're doing a podcast?
I watch every single game. I watch every single post-game show. I watch every radio show.
How many times did you rip Johnny Gaudreau this year? Over, under, 26?
Probably under, but not much under.
We'll go 22, 23.
Probably
this
20.
guy needs to be traded to Philadelphia.
Probably 25.
Get him out of here.
Oh, yeah. An old Johnny Gaudreau, but so hopefully we can.
Who knows, man? Maybe he would have showed up in the playoffs this year. We'll never know.
We will never know.
Inside Edge Hockey News, lighting the lamp and raising the cup.
Well, let's wrap this thing up. Thank you to the fans.
3 questions for me?
No, we're not doing 3 questions.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
No, we're going to be back with that next week. But thank you to the fans. Thank you for sticking with us for 100 episodes. There's been some informative ones. There's been some huge debates. There's been some big laughs. There's been some shitty episodes. And there's some that both Blake and I are very, very proud of. We thank everybody for their listens and the support. If you want to thank us back, please go to Apple Podcasts. Give us a great rating. And make sure you tell the other listeners why you listen to us every single week. The thanks goes to all our sponsors now, our sponsors in the past, and our future sponsors. We definitely aren't getting rich doing this podcast at all. We do it because we love hockey. We love talking hockey. I love being with other hockey people and visiting with my hockey friends. Thanks to all our sponsors. Your help helps us out in the production of this show. Thank you to all the guests we've had on the show. We hope to have even more guests on the show in the future. It's always fun having other input to Blake and I and other people to argue with. I like to thank Blake for putting up with me for 100 episodes, and
vice versa.
I can't believe I put up with him for 100 episodes. But man, it went fast. It was good. It was a lot of fun, and I look forward to 100 more.
Wouldn't it be incredible if there was a daily fantasy sports app that was built for hockey? And not just an afterthought to football and other sports? We are excited to introduce UBGM.com, the first hockey-centric daily fantasy app. UBGM will be launching later this fall and needs your feedback. Expert, casual, and new players welcome. Sign up at ubgm.com/thedebate to become a VIP member.
Get connected. The Debate Hockey Podcast can be found on Twitter at Debate Hockey. Also, make sure you check us out on our Facebook page, The Debate Hockey Podcast. Brad Burud can be found on Twitter at Brad Burud, and co-host Blake Friars can also be found on Twitter at Friars_Blake. If you like what you hear, please rate and review us on Apple Podcast. The Debate Hockey Podcast can be found on all major podcast players. And please consider subscribing to the Inside Edge Hockey News on Patreon. That'll get you exclusive content and much more. Thanks again and enjoy the hockey action.
Kevin Bieksa had come up and had a word with Westgarth a moment ago, and now Bieksa is going to face off against Westgarth, so the defenseman moves up for the Canucks.
Tortorella at the Vancouver bench is already looking at the
and here we
Calgary
go.
bench.
Line brawl to start this game.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Debate Hockey Podcast with your host, Brad Burud. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit InsideEdgeHockeyNews.com and on Twitter at InsideEdgeHOCKE and Facebook at Inside Edge Hockey News. We'll catch you next time.
This has been a production of Inside Edge Hockey News Radio, copyrighted and distributed by the Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.